It was a poor decision. America, let's talk toilets. Good morning from Universal Orlando Resort. I'm here for the opening time. It is already open, there's hotel guests in there and stuff. So the queues aren't going to be zero when you walk in there. Islands of Adventure is open till 10 PM this evening, and Studios is open till 8 PM. So I'm going to try and do everything today, pretty much. Or everything that I want to do anyway. Might not be able to do that because of the queue times and stuff, but I'll give it a good go. Got an Uber today, as you saw. I couldn't be bothered faffing around with the shuttles again, and I might walk home later. It costs something like £6.50. Uber operates surge pricing, so yesterday to go home, just as it had that storm, so a lot of people were leaving the park. It's $25 for the same return journey. So I might walk home this evening. If there's another surge, more people to request lifts at that time in that area, it bumps the price up. Supply and demand. So I'm going to go to Islands of Adventure first, to try and maybe get a couple of the big coasters done. Hagrid's I think is already on 120 minutes it says, but there is a single rider line for Hagrid's. Only a 10-minute wait for the hook. I wasn't at the start at the back of the park, but that's the Harry Potter stuff. Harry Potter's on 90 minutes, the motorbike, and VELOCICOASTER on 60 minutes. I don't think the Hulk has a single rider queue anyway. Might be wrong on that. So I might as well do this now before I do the other stuff. There's no on-ride filming here at all. I've actually got to put myself in a locker and go through a metal detector before you go into the queue line. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll see you on the other side. So with the lockers, you scan your park ticket, and it'll open a random locker. I don't know how they judge the while you ride bit, but is it based on the queue time? That was wrong. There is a single rider line, which is great. It means I can have a few more rides later. But it was walk on. It says 10 minutes, but actually it's walk on, and I had a front row. Really smooth. I never did it when it was on its old track, as it was recently. I say recently, like what, 5, 6, 7 years ago, retracked fully. I do think it's quite funny how it's a wheel launch. Because back then that's how launches were done, I suppose. So no special LSM or anything clever. It's literally just a wheel launch. Fantastic launch into the first inversion. The experience isn't great. Obviously you have to go through like airport scanners and stuff. But the fact they offer free lockers, because I mean a lot of parks charge you for the lockers now, even though it's their own rule that you have to put everything in a locker and go through metal detectors. But yeah, really good to get on there. I mean, that's why it's worth coming a bit earlier. Yesterday, I think the queue maxed on the Hulk at around 50 minutes, from what I can see. So it's amazing. I think that's one of the less, less popular attractions these days. It is a bit of a car park coaster, which no one really talks about. After the bit over the lake, it is a bit of a car park coaster. I did do this last time. It is on 5 minutes, but it's nothing special. 2 little drop towers, and they are little, they are tiny. They're also from S&S, which aren't the best. If they were tiny, intimate drop towers, genuine drop towers, I'd give it a go, because they're normally pretty good. Again, breaking all my rules. This is 5 minutes, so I'm gonna head on into this. I remember this being pretty good last time. The express line was quite big. In fact, you can see them here. Mind you saying that, I had express last time because I was staying at the hotel, so yeah, I would use it for that. Jesus, this is a big queue. Much like Disney, I'm not a Marvel person. Oh, is this Marvel? I can't remember. People are gonna get annoyed at me. I think it's Marvel. But yeah, I'm just not a massive superheroes fan at all, really. I'm all over the rides though, like the rides. Looks like it's walk on as well. I'll say walk on. What's it, one way? Amazing, right, I'll see you after the ride. If you're going to do dark rides with screens, that is the way to do it. Massive set pieces in there, lots of screens, but you don't feel like you're sat in front of a screen for any length of time, really. Even in Ratatouille, you sit in front of a screen for 20-30 seconds. The only problem with that is the villain in there does look a bit like Elton John. But some fantastic scenes in there. Obviously there's a big fireball which goes off. The perspective on the video changes as you enter the scene. You don't just see the video. So what I mean by that is the angle at which you're looking into the scene changes. In fact, the best way of ever seeing that is on the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout in California. As the lift is moving up and down, your perspective into the world via the screen changes up and down as well. It doesn't just stay the same. It's one of the easiest ways to see that effect, but it happens in there as well. And it is really impressive because it has to match the car almost perfectly as it travels through the scene. It's really impressive, and obviously again it was pretty much walk on. I know I'm here early, but the early bird catches the worm. Now I do remember queuing for this for quite a while last time and getting quite wet. However, if you share boats on this and they do put you together, you are extremely close to each other. So I'm hoping if I go on it now, even though I might get quite wet, I'll get a boat to myself. That's the plan. Yeah, this might be a mistake. I'm hoping maybe if it's a lighter boat, it'll also be a lighter splash as well, maybe. But like I say, I remember sharing a boat on this last time and it was actually incredibly awkward. Like the most awkward it's ever been. So hopefully I'll get a boat to myself. It's a long queue to walk around. Right, I'll see you when I come off.
Be inside at all times.
It was a poor decision.
Please remain seated in your lawn until an
I mean,
instruction.
so wet. So wet. My light boat theory. Nope, wrong.
Always Cisco. Please remain seated in your lawn until an attendant instructs you further.
I want to wipe the lens, but everything's wet. I'm just glad my phone's okay, really. It is, I mean, if it was blasting sunshine, yeah, it'd be perfect, really. When it's like this, it's not cold, but when it's like this, just turn the extra effects off. There's a few waterfalls there which look like they're meant to like go around the boat, obviously broken, and they are just literally filling the boat. The restraints on the actual boats on there are horrendous. To try and get into it, you have to kind of straighten your legs and stuff. And also, I didn't get a boat by myself, but luckily the person was sat like right at the front, so I wasn't immediately close to me, which is great. But yeah, the boats are really, really bad. They have to have a restraint on them because the drop is quite fast. Chiapas in Fantasialand, that isn't great to get in and out of. Is a bit cumbersome. I am so glad I did it, even though I am soaked and it's not sunny, so I'm going to sit down for a bit and just try and dry off. But yeah, it's I mean, I'm wearing all black, so it's going to be hard to see, but everything is wet. Luckily, the one thing that isn't wet is my socks. There's nothing worse than wet socks. Just notice, well, as the log comes down, all this explodes, which is quite cool. I just feel like the entire area of Toon Land, whatever it's called, is really dated. Even like, I'm 33 years old and I don't get some of the references. I don't think they're newer than that. I think they're older than that. Compared to some of the new stuff they do, like Harry Potter, yeah, this seems really old. So it's about half an hour since I went on Spider-Man, and that's now at 50 minutes. So it pays to be nice and early, really. Because yeah, 50 minutes for that would have been a long time, I think. It's pretty good, but not 50 minutes. So, quite happy I got that walk on. Now this is something which looks amazing, but is actually... Oh, it's not working. I mean, from outside that looks absolutely incredible. The actual ride itself is one of the worst, bear in mind this is quite new, one of the worst simulators you can do. Actually the one in Hollywood as well, on the tram tour you get to go into the same scene. However, in the tram tour, halfway through the scene it just stopped and then we just drove out without any explanation. But yeah, not working the minute. But it looks incredible, like you can't say that the theming doesn't look incredible. We've also got a coaster up here, the Pterodon Flyers, but you have to be a certain height, under a certain height to go on it, I think, or you need a child, I can't remember. So it's a credit that I've not got and I probably will never get. I mean, it looks quite cool. I mean, adults can obviously go on it, they just stop them going on it because it's got such a low throughput, 2 people at a time. Now this is something I am nostalgic about because obviously I grew up in Jurassic Park. I might, as I'm still quite wet, go on the river ride now. I probably won't go on the rapids today. Didn't go on them last time because they were closed. But I might do the rapids because you only get a sprinkling on here. You don't really get that wet. It looks great, but you don't really get that wet. So if I'm already wet, I might get this out of the way now. Yeah, there's no one on it. In fact, I don't think it's open because there's only... oh no! It is open. This is weird. Look at this. So this boat here has a cargo net over it with dummies in. But there are normal people. There are people on it further down. Must have no queue. So I might do this now. because I'm already wet. You see how tall the drop is? The building's pretty huge. And I think this is still the Jurassic Park version, not the Jurassic World version. This looks amazing. We will come back to it though, because we're going to go and do the river adventure first.
When it rains, then we do.
If I brought Express today, I wouldn't feel like I'd be getting my money's worth. I got Express because I stayed in the hotel in 2019, and that's mostly because it's my first ever visit, so I wanted to go on everything. Whereas once you do it once, another walk-on, right? I'm amazed these are walk-on. I know this takes a lot of people, it's early in the morning, it's a water ride, but still. Absolutely brilliant, like dark ride section on there. And you don't get wet. I look soaked, but that's all from the first ride. The second, like on there, tiny little sprinkling. That's it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. There's a few effects in there which I don't think were working the first time that I did it, but they were working that time. The box dropping. Yeah, really good. I think the time has come now though for VELOCICOASTER. I'm genuinely excited about this because it looks awesome. It sounds like Taron almost for the launch. I do love me a Taron launch. So I've not seen this from Universal. It's an automatic photo. You just got to send your ticket. I am very excited for this. But yeah, this just looks incredible. There are some nets. It's whenever they build a coaster these days, they kind of forget like about the nets, and the nets always make it look rubbish, but it's quite minimal actually.
Did you see that?
So I imagine this is another locker situation. So I have to go and find the lockers and then come back. Oh no, I think the lockers on this one might be just before the attraction. I think they changed it, which is much better because you get to keep your phone in the queue line and stuff. So it's 50 minutes for the normal. I will do the normal later. For now, we're going to do the single rider. I don't know how long the wait is. This could be ridiculously long. I'm not sure. We'll find out. They've just closed the single rider line, so that doesn't bode very well. When they do that, it's normally because the main queue is shorter than single rider, so the ultimate test. I've never seen a queue at Universal move quite so fast as the VELOCICOASTER one. So I definitely think the main line would have been the better option. I don't know how long that goes because it goes out to the right somewhere, and I have no idea how far that goes, but it's moving that quick. Well, this is absolutely fantastic. It's now my favourite ride in Orlando. It beats Mako for me. You get airtime. It's finally another ride in Orlando where you actually get airtime. I waited, well, by the time I collected my phone out of the locker, the stopwatch was at 52 minutes. So, what was the queue? 55 minutes earlier? So, it says it's 60 minutes now, and the queue is still the same for the single rider. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through the main queue, and I got a back row just by chance. And you can't queue up for the back row because there's no queue for it. With the front row you can queue up for. So I'm going to go through the main queue and do a front row. But yeah, it's exceptionally good, very well themed, well paced. The second launch is very Taron-esque. Taron with inversions. Yeah. What's not to like? So let's go and queue up. I'm going to queue up in the normal queue. I don't think it'll be 60 minutes because it was the fastest queue I've ever seen move. And the operations in there, in that station, there's a 15-second countdown from the gates opening to the train leaving the station, and they actually count it down. I've never seen a coaster be dispatched so quickly. Really, really good. Really, really, really good. Highly recommend it. I can't wait to do it again, and this time on the front row. Do you get quite close to the coaster in here? It doesn't even look like they're using a lot of the queue line. So what I'm saying is a single rider, you get your own little locker section, and at the end, when you come out, you have to go down the exit corridor to find your single rider lockers. A lot of people getting confused by that because they couldn't get the lock. They were sending the tickets to the normal lockers, and that's not where as a single rider. In fact, for the single rider, the reason why you'll be held for so long is they're waiting for lockers to become free. There's only 40 lockers for single riders. But yeah, from there, where I queued up, 50 minutes. It looks like from this queue line we're going to get some amazing shots of the ride. But the queue just doesn't stop moving, it's so fast. I think it's running 4 trains at the moment from what I can kind of gauge. Actually queuing along the front. I have started the clock so we can do a comparison. It said 60 minutes. I don't think it's going to be 60 minutes.
Such as large backpacks, purses, and bags must be left with a non-rider or secured in lockers at the Discovery Center. Items can be checked at the entrance of the...
If you experience any of the following conditions, heart conditions, or are an expectant mother, prone to motion...
VELOCICOASTER riders. Here at the VELOCICOASTER, we operate using double-sided lockers.
Developed right here in order to formulate the complex game plan for how to properly care for and maintain these magnificent animals.
just had a front row, insane airtime. I don't know which I prefer, the back or the front to be honest, but just absolutely brilliant. Queue time was 60 minutes, it was exactly 60. By the time I came and collected my phone after the lockers, it was exactly 60 minutes. But it didn't feel 60 minutes because it was, you move a lot in the normal queue, which you don't at all in the single ride. It's very, very slow. But yeah, absolutely. But I'll be having a few more goes on that before the end of tonight. The queues have picked up now though. I will say this, it's on one too many trains. Each time you're waiting a full train, if not sometimes 2 trains, before you get back into the station. And that can only mean one thing, and that's that it's running too many trains. They cannot dispatch that thing any faster. It's actually incredible to see of how fast they can dispatch it. So just take one of the trains off, then you roll straight back into the station each time. I can't imagine there being much, like, there's any benefit really to having 4 trains on rather than just 3. Right, I think it's time to brave the Harry Potter area. I know nothing about Harry Potter. But a lovely area, I think it's fantastically done. So we're actually not even in Harry Potter World yet. And this is where the line starts.
If you get them all right, I'll do some fountain magic for you. Does that sound good? Oh, good. I think so too. Okay, are you ready? Oh, can you tell
See, VELOCICOASTER is by far the better roller coaster. By far. It's advertised at a 90-minute wait list at the moment. I probably won't do the single rider queue because I find the motorbike is better than the sidecar. And if I go in the single rider queue, I'll 100% be in the sidecar, I think. This is an interactive fountain.
Green eggs and ham, that is correct. You did it. All right, you ready for some fountain magic? Yeah, okay. If folks around me, if you don't want to get wet, back up just a little bit, okay?
So again, you can see traffic's being held to allow the queue line to walk past. I won't be able to film much in the queue because I think the lockers are quite early on this ride. But I've started the stopwatch and we'll see what it's like when I come off the ride. Seems like a spaghetti junction because we've got fast track and everyone needs to use a locker. And you got normal people just walking through the exit, maybe over that way. I don't know. It's all mental. We were there for about 20 minutes without moving. So I've just come off, and the ride's great. You can't argue with the ride. I've got an issue though with the single rider line. Now the single rider line was closed when I went in. However, when you get down to the station, they separate you into odd numbers and even numbers, and obviously I was in the odd numbers. But the way they load the single rider line from the, to pair you up, the single rider is in the prime position to be in the motorbike. So it comes, unless you ask the other person. Now I'd already done the motorbike before, so this time doing the sidecar was fine to kind of see what it was like. But I do feel like if you're in the main queue, you should they should ask you if you want to do the sidecar and then put you in the right position for that. Because after waiting a very long time, it's quite annoying not to be able to choose your own seat on there. The single rider line does actually move really quickly in there as well. Because the way they separate you into odds and evens is actually quite a good system. Just that final bit of loading, which is the problem. The ride, however, you get a lot of money's worth in that ride because obviously you've got forward sections, backwards sections, launches, backward launches, you've got the drop section. So you know, you get a lot on there. It's good. It obviously gets the queues because of Harry Potter, but you know, I'd rather queue up for VELOCICOASTER again. I'm hoping the Forbidden Journey I'm hoping the single rider line is open for this. So just trying to find the entrance. We do have single rider line, which we are going to go and give a try. It's a 60-minute normal queue. This feels big.
It's not recommended for those with.
Once aboard, please use the seat back pouch to store items.
So this is where they load up. Just here.
It's not recommended for those with.
Taking about 15 minutes to get here.
These benches are not safe if you listen too slow.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One single variable, and you're the 2, okay? Right up. 2, 3.
I really like Forbidden Journey. It's a fantastic dark ride. I'm more interested in how it actually works, because obviously when you're in those video scenes for about 30 seconds, you are constantly moving. It's just the screen is also moving with you. It's so clever. Then you've got the real animatronics, and even the animatronics come into the ride space. So there must be some sort of connection there to mean that they don't crash into each other. The mind boggles. I just absolutely love it. I'm not a Harry Potter fan at all, but I absolutely love that ride. I think it's fantastic. I waited 20 minutes. It was actually 2 hours for the motorbike by the time we got on it and off it. 1 hour 58. It did go down twice whilst I was screwing up, unfortunately. Absolutely fantastic. I'll probably do that a couple more times actually whilst I'm here. And now I've done a single rider line once, I roughly know what to expect. The problem is the first time you do it is you have no idea of how long it actually takes to get to the end of it. The Harry Potter area, in one word, uncomfortable. It's too busy in there to move. Everyone's obviously, that's why I've come over here, outside the area, because everyone's on their phones taking pictures. Everyone's just walking into each other and actually starting to get angry with each other. Even just getting out of the gift shop is just, just 5 minutes just to get around everybody. Cracking view of the castle from here actually, and on this it's not too crowded on here, compared to inside anyway. Also, if you do turn around from the castle, you get a great view of VELOCICOASTER. I do need something to eat now. I don't know Universal very well, so we'll just eat the very first place. Although this is a queue for food, for a food store. Crazy. Always makes me laugh when I just see someone walking around eating a ridiculously sized turkey leg. This is why I bring stuff with me. Just look at the queue for this. I don't know why more people don't bring their own stuff. Also, I've just dried off in time for it to start raining. I mean, if it rains anywhere else fills up the park, then I don't care. But yeah, I still don't regret going on it because I don't have to share about. Back at River Adventure, it's now 50 minutes. Wow. If you look at Skull Island, Reign of Kong here, it looks like it should be a world-class ride. And what it actually is pants. Walking back through Toon Lagoon, and it looks like they're using both lanes now, both sides. Just looked at the radar. It looks like we're going to get this rain now for pretty much the rest of the day. I think we're going to head into City Walk to see if it's a little bit quieter on there to get something to eat. Here's the rapids, which I've not done, and it has got a 5-minute queue because everything else is massive. But I've heard it's an absolute drencher. I've only just got dry. Now, this might be just burgers, but there's a very low queue, so I might just get something from here. Pretty sure I've seen in some vlogs that this is hardly ever open, so maybe it is a particularly busy day today. Let's get a couple of mayo. I went for the chicken. Trying to find somewhere now where we can eat under cover. There was actually nowhere to sit, but luckily I just saw someone leave and I had to literally run. This is a decent sized portion, although like I keep saying I'm used to the kids' meal, so I'm gonna have this and then I'll catch up with you afterwards. Okay, the queues are a bit crazy at the moment, so instead I'm just gonna go and get some shots of the stuff that I've been on already. For America, let's talk toilets. One, so much paper with paper towels. Hand dryers are a thing, or is it less? Is it more harm to use the air dryers than it is to use paper? I don't know. Two, gaps in your toilets. Gaps in your toilet doors. Why wouldn't you want to be private in there? I mean, the gaps are like this big. You can all see into the toilets. And then the sides, like to your left and right, are like really high, easy like a foot off the ground, so people can just crawl under. Very odd. Very, very odd. So in this area, this is obviously some sort of arena, which isn't really used at the minute. There's another problem with toilets at Universal is every sort of block that I've been to has like, this is just for the men's, 3 or 4 urinals and like 2 or 3 stalls / cubicles. And all of them have a queue of like 10 to 15 people waiting to just use anything that they can. The only place that I found was quite quiet was behind this sign. There's some toilets and they're dead. There's a catering outlet there, there's other catering outlets through here. And because this isn't a particularly popular area of the park compared to like the Jurassic Park area or the Harry Potter area, like you can go to the toilet without waiting. You can get served food almost straight away. Like with the Wimpy that I went to, got served straight away. So if you're not particularly fussy on what food you want to eat, I'd recommend coming to this side because it's very, very quiet. Or if you need the toilet, because like I said, the queue, and that was just for the men, the queue was like 10, 15 people deep. God knows what it's like for the women. That's my top tip for someone who's only ever been here twice. Really coming down now to the point where I'll have to stop filming in a minute. A bit worried about my phone. That is actually empty as well. So I don't know if a storm's coming and they're running it empty to run the trains off or what. The inversion at the bottom there, just over the water, is very similar to the Europa Park inversion, the final inversion, of which there should be many, many more of them in the world. It's absolutely brilliant. You might say it ruins the look of the Harry Potter world, but I'd much rather have it than not have it. Oh dear. That stopped as well. For somewhere where it rains all the time, I do struggle to keep stuff going. I think Rip Ride Rocket stopped in the rain as well. But not this bad boy. Keeps on going. The rate of trains coming out of that thing is ridiculous. And it just looks absolutely fantastic on the water there. So my extra charger case has just given up the ghost. It's pretty much brand new. I got it just before I came out, so it means I'll be limited to what I can film for the rest of the day. And if it keeps on raining and with these big queues, I might call it a day early. I'm in two minds at the moment. Can always come back tomorrow. I've got 4 more days here. I need to go to SeaWorld one day and then I'm pretty much flexible for the rest, so. Every 52 seconds there's a train coming over there. Every 52 seconds. Brilliant operations. I like a good moan, as everybody knows. But yeah, that is first class. I have hovered around here for some shots of the Hulk. It's not going. Okay, so got a decision. I'm going to go over to Hollywood Studios to have a look around whilst it's a bit visible. The queues over there are just as crazy as they are over here. However, they do have the Bourne Stuntacular, which I've heard good things about. I'm going to go for the, I think it's 4:30 showing of that, which is in about 45 minutes. And after that, I probably will call it a day. When I was looking at the queue times yesterday, they did get much, much lower towards the end of the day. So I might come later tomorrow and stay until it goes dark, if that makes sense. I do feel quite lucky that on our October trip I only experienced 2-3 minutes of rain. It was heavy rain and it happened entirely whilst I was on Kraken at SeaWorld. From the moment we left the station to the moment we entered the station. And that was the only rain we saw in 2 weeks. Rip Ride Rocket is a roller coaster plagued with problems. And it's no surprise that in the rain, it closes. You can barely operate in the nice sunshine. It's 8:13. I always remember the spinning globe at the end of Kenan and Kel on Nickelodeon. I doubt it was that one, but like, Kenan and Kel was filmed in front of a live studio audience at Universal Studios, Florida. Something like that. I vaguely remember it. So I'm in. Last time I was here is for Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, which is incredible. Very different to what we have in the UK. Elton John, or the villain from Spider-Man. I'm now just waiting for 4:30 to come about. I'm going to do the show, then go back, I think. What's to say here? This is where they do a late show. The only show that I saw was the Halloween one in 2019. And it was that good. I actually came and watched it, the later showing as well. I think it was like 1 AM or something like that. But yeah, very, very good. So I won't be able to film in the show, obviously. So yeah, so I'll pick this up after I come out of the show and tell you what I thought. I literally can't get away from the man. Right, I think they're letting people queue up for this already. It's 4 o'clock. I'm nice and early, so I'm hoping for a decent seat. I have no idea what the theatre looks like or anything, so just excited to go and see it. I'm glad I was here early, because already it seems like, I mean, I don't know how big the theatre is, but there's like quite a few people are here already. Some sort of pre-show. Obviously all the queue line goes to pot. Okay, so I'm going to start heading back now. Just come out of the Bourne Stuntacular. Firstly, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to go into more detail about it in my next video because it was 100% completely ruined for me. And the reason why it was ruined was because of the ECV parking. Now there's plenty of wheelchairs in there, and that wasn't a problem. But where there's the ECV parking is in 2 or 3 rows from the back. I sat one of the rows from the back. Where they park the ECVs, and this ECV had possibly the tallest backrest. I just meant I missed maybe 70% of what was going on. And not just me, the people around me as well, all would have missed a big chunk. Just get rid of the seats behind where the ECVs sit. Sorted. There's no reason to put seats behind where they know they're going to have ECVs. There's anyone behind that I won't be able to see. So, unfortunately, it wasn't a great run that time. But now I know what the auditorium's like, and I know what the setup is. I know where I want to sit next time. But it was still, even though it was a rubbish run through, absolutely brilliant. I think it's the best thing in Universal Studios. I can't think of anything in Universal Studios which is better than that. It's by far the best thing. So I'll be doing it again tomorrow, and I'll give it a little bit more of a spiel after that. Anyway, we'll look more at it tomorrow when I go and see it again. So I've just looked, and the Uber home was going to cost $13, whereas yesterday, around the same time actually, it was going to cost $25. But yesterday a lot more people were leaving because of the massive storm we had. Doesn't feel like it's been that long of a video today, because I think I've spent a lot of the day in queues, and I don't normally do queues very well. I normally get annoyed quite a lot. I mean, 2 hours for Hagrid's, that's a lot. Like, don't normally do that. I think next time, no, I will do the single rider, because you're more likely to get a motorbike as well. I mean, Sidecar was good. To be fair, I think I'm more annoyed with the fact you don't get to choose rather than getting a sidecar. The sidecar didn't really add or take away much from what I can remember. But it's the fact that you don't get to choose, that's what wound me up a little bit. But again, another good day. I feel like Universal Days last time really wound me up because the hotel wound me up. Quite a few things were wrong with the hotel. Tried to charge me 3 days for parking when I didn't even have a car. Lots of little things with the hotel which wound us up. So I kind of had a negative thing on Universal, whereas this time Volcano Bay, brilliant. And today, it's raining and the rides are closed. Other than that, it's alright. Now we play the game of how far ahead do I book an Uber? Because I'd like it to be there exactly when I'm there. So I might have a look now and see how far away it is. Once again, the world's best hotel. The card stopped working. Which means I've got to once again wait in this queue, which takes forever. Because they have 8 people serving 1 person. Let's get this redone. No joke, I think that's the 5 o'clock shuttle coming back. It's 26. It takes 40 minutes to get from the parks. I've just done an Uber in 6 minutes. Ooh! And just like that, we're back in the room. The Uber actually went up as I booked it to $16. That's 15 quid, so that's a lot. But by that point, I was still drenched from the rain. Not from the ride, but from the rain by that point. I just wanted to get back to the hotel. I probably will go to the pool because the pool is empty. So that'd be nice. Like I said, I don't know how long this video is going to be because it feels like I spent a long time in queues today. So it won't feel that long, I don't think. Because I didn't film that much even in the queues. But I still had a good day, and it's Universal. So, and Universal, actually, Universal last time let me down a little bit, whereas this time, yeah, really good. Even the show, which was through really bad operations and, you know, whoever came up with that plan, the show, still brilliant. And I'll see it again tomorrow in a different, I'll sit somewhere else. And because every other seat, I think, will be absolutely fine. I think it'll be absolutely fine, and any other seat will not be a problem. There's not a bad seat in that show, except for the 2 or 3 where I was sat. I think I'll start in Islands of Adventure again, and it depends what time I go. If I go early doors, then yeah. If I go quite late, I'll start in Studios. Then as the clock counts down, I'll go over to Islands of Adventure to try and do VELOCICOASTER in the dark. That's one thing I definitely want to do. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you've watched it today, if you keep on getting to the end of the video, please just hit subscribe. It will mean a lot. Like the video, comment down below with your favourite Universal ride. There you go, and why. Mine's VELOCICOASTER because it's the best ride there. That's it. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.